Good evening. We're starting with some breaking news coming out of Mesa tonight, where there are reports of shots being fired at an apartment complex. This is unfolding at Southern and Greenfield Road. Right now, there are no reports of injuries.
We have a live look at the scene for you. Information at this time is limited, but we do know that at least one person has been taken into custody. Of course, we'll have more on this situation coming up on 12 News at 10, so stay tuned. It has been nearly 3 weeks since 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie was kidnapped from her Tucson home, and still no new suspects have been identified.
12 News journalist Gabriella Becerra is outside of Nancy Guthrie's home tonight with the latest on the investigation.
A lot of the investigation is happening behind the scenes now. We know hundreds of detectives and FBI agents are working around the clock, canvassing neighborhoods and businesses, trying to find anything that leads them to Nancy and a suspect. Hope for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie's safe return is strengthening as a tribute of yellow flowers and ribbons continues to grow in her Catalina Foothills neighborhood. It's been almost 3 weeks since Nancy was kidnapped from her home in the middle of the night on February 1st. There have been no signs of Nancy, which leaves retired Phoenix Police Commander Jeffrey Hines with a grim outlook.
Unfortunately, with Nancy, the further out we go, the implications are there that it's a body recovery operation now.
But Hines is hopeful about DNA evidence in the case.
It gives me some hope that we're going to identify a suspect and have the ability to follow up on that investigatively.
The Pima County Sheriff says DNA evidence found inside of Nancy's home could belong to a suspect. That evidence is still being analyzed. Other DNA found on a glove about 2 miles from Nancy's home hasn't come back with any matches, but investigators are exploring genetic genealogy to connect it to possible family members.
It could be immediate and it could be weeks, depending on how far down into that data material they go.
We're also learning from NBC News that there is no evidence that Nancy is in Mexico, although investigators have been in touch with officials on both sides of the border since the very beginning of the case. Hines says it's natural for investigators to look in that direction.
They could and they will keep expanding those search parameters out and going to highway cameras, to cameras at service stations, truck stops.
As hope grows, so does the number of tips the sheriff and FBI receive every day.
They're not going to give up until they find out who did this and was part of this, and I'm here to assure you they will. I just wish it was sooner than later, but they will.
And Sheriff Chris Nano says this case won't go cold so long as people keep calling in tips. There are 2 rewards being offered in this case, and together they total over $200,000. In Tucson, Gabriella Becerra, 12 News.
Gabby, thanks. 3 people have been arrested in an extremely disturbing sexual assault case out of the East Valley. And we do want to warn you, the details you're going to hear are graphic. According to court documents, one of the men would use social media to find men to have sex with his wife after she had been drugged. It's allegedly been going on for months. Back in December, police were called to a home after several people said the victim was sexually assaulted by her husband. Court documents show the victim reported finding online messages sent by her husband soliciting men to have sex with her. Gilbert police say the husband also had an unlimited supply of sedatives. Earlier today, Maricopa County Attorney Rachel Mitchell weighed in on the case.
You know, unfortunately, most sex offenses are committed against victims by people they know, and a large number of those actually, are committed by somebody that they trust. I know that when a victim is violated by a stranger, it's traumatic. When a victim is violated by somebody they trust, especially somebody as close as a spouse, the trauma goes through the roof.
In an effort to keep his wife's identity private, we are not going to name the husband. The 2 others behind bars are Jose Guzman and Evan Torres. Both are facing sexual assault charges. Maricopa County Attorney Rachel Mitchell is also expressing concern over the bond amount set in a recent Phoenix police shooting. She says the decision puts public safety at risk.
This comes after 39-year-old Valerie Marie Corona was indicted on 2 felony assault charges. She is accused of pointing a gun at officers. 12 News journalist Sean Rice explains Mitchell's issue with a court official setting the bond lower than in other cases.
We're not going to negotiate. You're under arrest. You're going to come out of that car.
Earlier this month at 75th Avenue in Thomas and West Phoenix, members of the Phoenix Police Department's Fugitive Apprehension Unit were looking for Valerie Corona. She was wanted for questioning in a recent homicide as these officers boxed in her car.
I need you to come out this way.
They offered her multiple ways to get out of this situation unharmed. Body camera footage shows her raise up this handgun and then point it at officers. Miraculously, Corona survived her injuries. She was booked into jail on 2 felony assault charges.
We asked the court to set her bond at $1 million cash. This was an appropriate amount given the gravity of the allegations against her and the threat to the community. Instead, a commissioner set her bond at $25,000 secured.
The difference in bond amount set by Commissioner Daniel Fenzel is startling, $25,000. But with the help of a bondsman, Corona would only have to post $2,500.
Have you seen a disparity that large before in terms of what prosecutors request versus what a commissioner or a judge or magistrate sets?
I can't say that I haven't seen one that large. I've seen large disparities. This one certainly sticks out to me as concerning.
Fenzel wrote in court records that he felt the weight of evidence against Corona was, quote, minimal, and felt the amount of information in her probable cause documents were, quote, limited. Mitchell disagrees.
When you're frustrated after seeing the news that someone who is dangerous or a repeat offender get out on a low bond or be released on their own recognizance, let me just say this, I get it. It frustrates me too.
Is there anything your office can do? Can you have direct conversations with that commissioner and say, hey, this is particularly upsetting to me in my office, and express public safety concerns to that person?
My office does staff the initial appearance court where bonds are set 24/7. So there was a conversation with the commissioner. Beyond that, I can make my feelings known to the court. And I have done that in this case.
And Maricopa County commissioners like Daniel Fenzel aren't elected or retained by voters. Instead, they answer solely to the presiding judge. And as you heard, Rachel Mitchell says that Pamela Gates is aware of her displeasure.
Developing tonight, a federal judge is ordering a big shakeup when it comes to health care in Arizona prisons. The decision comes after years of complaints about poor medical care, saying that the state has violated prisoners' rights and does not provide the kind of care that could have prevented deaths. The state and attorneys representing prisoners, according to the order, now have 2 months to submit a list of candidates to run prison health operations. Up in Flagstaff, no formal charges have been submitted against the 3 men arrested for their involvement in the hazing death of a Northern Arizona University student. Flagstaff police telling us just a few hours ago that the case has not yet been sent over to Coconino County Attorney's Office for charges to be filed. 12 News journalist Jade Cunningham has the latest on this case.
A newly released incident report from Flagstaff Police shines new light on the death of a NAU college student who died while at a Delta Tau Delta hazing event. The document is a series of reports from each officer who responded to the home near Pine Knoll Drive and Lone Tree Road January 31st. That's when the teenager, only identified as a pledging candidate, was found unresponsive by fraternity members. According to the report, officers conducted multiple interviews with those who were at the home that night. One person saying he woke up to people panicking, and someone was performing CPR on the 18-year-old, but he wasn't responding. One officer spoke with fraternity member Carter Eslick, who said those at the house were all consuming alcohol, and by 10 or 11 p.m. the pledge was no longer able to stand on his own. Another officer speaking with Ryan Creech, another member of DTD. He told police the party had nothing to do with the fraternity or pledging, and it was a typical Friday night for the house. 7 people at States were ultimately taken to Flagstaff police for further questioning. 3 DTD executive board members, Carter Eslick, Ryan Creech, and Riley Cass, were arrested. The documents released Thursday come the same day those 3 20-year-olds were supposed to be back in court. But with no formal charges yet sent to the Coconino Attorney's Office by Flagstaff Police, the hearing was canceled and no future dates have been scheduled. Flagstaff Police tell 12 News they are wrapping up their investigation and should be sending it to the Attorney's Office in the near future. Jay Cunningham, 12 News.
All right, let's head over to meteorologist Chris Dunn now, joining us with a look at our weather impact forecast. And Chris, how much longer is this wintry weather going to last across Arizona?
Well, we have one last final weather system that is moving through, and this is the last in 3 systems. Once we get through with this, it's going to turn right back to springtime and almost like late springtime. That's pretty much where we've been all winter long. Winter without a winter. Valley rain, we're talking about a quick shot possible overnight. The mountain snow will be a quick shot, but it's a quick shot of heavy snow at times overnight. And a warming trend is in the cards for this weekend. And speaking of that mountain snow, we do have a weather impact alert for the overnight hours for the Flagstaff area. Moving in this evening, heavy at times overnight. High country driving, expect winter driving conditions on all of the highways in and out of the Flagstaff area and along the Mogollon Rim. 90% chance by 9 p.m. and 100% chance. You don't see that too often, but we're very confident that snow will be flying in Flagstaff at 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock tonight. Most of this is concentrated during the overnight hours. So in that respect, this is a somewhat convenient storm system because the heaviest snow will be falling overnight while a lot of folks are sleeping. But if you have early morning travel plans, say 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, those roads will be slick. Most of the snow concentrated here and up over the Kaibab Plateau, the north rim of the Grand Canyon, and lesser amounts as you get towards Pine Top and Show Low and into the White Mountains. Winter storm warning goes until 5 a.m. tomorrow for this pink shaded area here, and a winter weather advisory, kind of a warning light, one step below a warning. That also goes until 5 a.m. when the snow will continue to fly and pile up in many areas. Here's a look at where the storm system is right now, producing rain and snow across southern Nevada and northwestern Arizona. And it's aided by this jet stream, which will continue this snow. And as we stop the clock here at 10:30 tonight, the snow will be falling. When this moves out and what to expect with a big time warm up coming up in the rest of the forecast in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Chris, thank you. At the Capitol today, dozens of students got a chance to get outside of the classroom for an important history lesson.
It was to honor Black History Month. The kids were welcomed at the Capitol to get an up-close look at how government works. 12 News journalist Tricia Hendricks spent the day at the Capitol with the kids.
Here at the Arizona State Capitol, this was much more than just a field trip for 60 students. It was about access and representation.
Buses wrapped in the names of 2 movements, the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and the mission of 100 Black men, rolled up to the Capitol carrying kids between the ages of 8 and 13. Children came from the Roosevelt School District and George Gervin Prep Academy, brought here by 100 Black Men of Phoenix, not just to tour the building, but to watch government work in real time.
Our mission is to improve the quality of life of African American and people of all color in our local community here in the greater Phoenix area. And we do that by way of youth mentorship.
President of the 100 Black Men of Phoenix, Rabani Furqan, was involved when he was in junior high and high school.
I received a scholarship from the 100 Black Men of Phoenix to attend ASU, and I'm still around to pay it forward. You know, it was mentors that I had that really helped give me opportunities to go to higher education, to do internship programs. So I feel it is my role and my job to do the same for these kids here.
Students were greeted by Representative Quante Cruz.
I enjoy seeing the children. They ask amazing questions. They're so curious and inquisitive about the government and the things that we're doing here at the Capitol. And I'm just really excited to see them, to host them, and to see their minds grow and expand.
Here, these students got a front row seat to democracy with mentors alongside them.
It was kind of like being one of the representatives, experiencing what they're doing, talking about how there were a bunch of paperwork to be filled out with certain representatives and laws.
I love that I'm getting to learn about history.
For many of these students, it was the first time they'd ever seen a lawmaker up close, and the experience left an impression.
This is so exciting, and new experiences.
Organizers say the goal was to show these young people the halls of power belong to them too.
And it's really opening my state of mind of how things used to be back then and how things are now.
A lesson no classroom could fully replicate, and one of several mentorship initiatives 100 Black Men of Phoenix has planned throughout the year.
If you'd like to learn more or get involved, head to 12news.com. Trisha Hendricks, 12 News.
All right, Trisha, thank you. Still ahead on 12 News at 7, 3 kids got the trip of a lifetime to spring training. Find out about all the fun that they had coming up next.
12 News Valley Cam, sponsored by Parker & Sons Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical.
In Washington today, the Board of Peace met for the first time.
This meeting of at least 40 different countries was organized by the United States. President Trump spoke in front of the leaders of the nations that attended. However, some of America's key allies were not in attendance. The president pointed out that some of the countries that he had previously made deals with, including Albania and Azerbaijan. This new group was formed to help the future of Gaza after the war between Israel and Hamas. Trump also mentioned working on other peace deals with countries like Iran as well. While Trump was meeting with the Peace Board, one of his federal attorneys was held in civil contempt. A federal judge in Minnesota has ordered Matthew Izahara to pay $500 a day until an immigrant previously held by ICE is given his identification documents back. Izahara has told the judge that the high volume of cases has led to the delay, but the judge responded saying that does not justify disobedience. This is the first time in Trump's second administration that a federal attorney has faced court-ordered sanctions.
Well, some good news. Potential home buyers are in for a treat. Mortgage rates have dropped again. It's the lowest they've been in 3 years. The average 30-year fixed rate now sits at just over 6%. Plus, experts say that if the rate can dip below the 6% mark, it could increase buyer demand and boost the supply. It took nearly 12 hours for former Prince Andrew to be released from a British police station after being arrested this morning. The arrest comes on the heels of more Epstein files being released and after questioning of different people associated with Epstein. NBC's Julie Sirkin has the latest from Washington.
Police in Great Britain have arrested Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, the former prince, on suspicion of misconduct in public office after revelations of his ties with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The charge carries a maximum sentence of life in prison. After the arrest, King Charles, in a statement, said the law must take its course.
I think it's a shame. I think it's very sad.
For years, the late Virginia Roberts Giuffre publicly accused the former royal of sexually abusing her when she was just 17. Accusations he denies. Today, her family responding to the arrest.
A piece of justice that Virginia has been fighting for this entire time. And I think we're just so proud.
It comes after the Department of Justice released millions of pages on the Epstein investigation. Wednesday, the House Oversight Committee deposed billionaire Les Wexner. Epstein managed his money for a decade, and the FBI referred to him as a possible co-conspirator. The 88-year-old adamantly denied knowing anything about Epstein's crimes and has not been charged. He claimed Epstein conned him and stole his money.
He has basically alleged that he saw no evil, heard no evil, despite being in the room with Jeffrey Epstein over and over and over, and it's really just not credible.
Wexner isn't the only high-powered American named in the Epstein files. Thomas Pritzker, former Hyatt Hotel chairman, stepped down. Kathy Rumler, a former Obama White House counsel and top Goldman Sachs official, resigned. Casey Wasserman is selling his talent agency, but resisting calls to step down as head of LA Olympics 28. None of these people have been charged with any crime and deny doing anything illegal. For decades, Epstein survivors have said his close ties with powerful people have allowed him and convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell to abuse young women.
I think if you follow the money, you follow their position, you're going to start uncovering some really hard, dark truths.
In Washington, Julie Sirkin, NBC News.
Well, baseball is back, and just in time, warmer weather is on tap for the weekend.
Meteorologist Chris Dunn is back with our weather impact forecast. And Chris, I think you were saying we're going to get pretty close to 90 a few minutes ago?
That's a possibility. That's next week. So we have to wait about a week for that. But we're talking upper 80s. So for the first full week of spring training, the heat will be on. But until we get there, we have some changes coming up. Right now, we have rain and snow moving into northern Arizona. In fact, we do have a winter storm warning for the mountain areas. But next week, we have that big warming trend that we'll talk about. How much snow are we looking at? 6 to 8 inches overnight at the Snow Bowl, Sunrise Park Resort in the White Mountains, 2 to 4. Flagstaff in town, 4 to 6. Same for Williams, I-40. Could be rough going early in the morning tomorrow. Same for I-17. Prescott 1 to 2 and Pine Top Lakeside 1 to 2 inches. Maybe a dusting of snow on the hills surrounding Sedona. So through tomorrow morning, we have a weather impact alert for the next round of snow moving into the mountains. This is for the high country only. Snow ramping up with snow levels right around 5,000 feet. Give yourself some extra time if you're driving in the mountains for the slick roads. Winter storm warning goes until 5 a.m. tomorrow. This is just right for this pink area here. So this is like Doney Park, Munns Park, Flagstaff, Kachina Village area, I-40, I-17. Winter weather advisory for the purple shaded areas. This goes until 5 a.m. tomorrow, just outside of that small area right around Flagstaff. So along the Mogollon Rim. And again, above 5,000 feet, that's where you're going to find the snow. The snow and the rain moving into northwestern Arizona right now. Here's our Futurecast animation. I'll stop it at 10:30 tonight. And we have plenty of snow moving across the area through the overnight hours. And some of that rain is going to try to creep into the northern fringes of the valley, but with very little consequence, kind of like what we saw yesterday with a little bit of rain action going on. First thing tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., leftover snow along the rim and into the White Mountains. Flagstaff, the snow really coming to an end rather rapidly, and everybody clears out. So we're back to clear skies by Friday afternoon, and Saturday will be mostly sunny. Maybe a 1/100th of an inch in some spots across the valley, but really this is not going to be a big rain deal for us. So this system number 3 out of the series, it moves by and then it clears out. Saturday we have the big building ridge of high pressure, and it gets even stronger. That's why we're talking about high temperatures in the upper 80s. Here's your Valley 7-day forecast. We'll take it for the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s. 86 Monday and Tuesday. And look at next Wednesday or next Thursday, 88 degrees. Flagstaff 7-day weather impact alert for the morning only. And then you're back to the 40s, upper 40s at that by Sunday.
Chris, thanks. Well, spring training gets underway tomorrow. Today, 3 young patients from an Illinois hospital had the chance to experience a day at Cubs spring training. The 3 kids, Emma, Anthony, and Patrick, received an all-expenses-paid trip to Arizona and Sloan Park, where they got to sign one-day contracts with the Cubs. They then were able to take a tour of the ballpark before joining in on warm-ups and playing catch. They even got to play wiffle ball with the players.
It was a very successful day on the ice for Team USA in two different events. First, in women's figure skating, where an American won gold for the first time since 2002. Elisa Liu beat out two women from Japan to secure the gold, finishing with a score of 226.79, which was almost 2 full points ahead of second place. Now, Amber Glenn also put up a fight after a rough start on the program yesterday, finishing in 5th. And then in women's hockey, it was a match between two old rivals for gold, as USA and Canada once again battled it out after allowing only one goal before this game. Team USA went down 1-0 in the second period. It wasn't until late in the third period when Captain Hillary Knight came through once again, scoring a goal and then tying it at 1 apiece. The game would go into overtime, where just over 4 minutes in, Megan Keller scored the golden goal and cemented herself in USA Olympic history, securing Team USA gold once again.
And I'm sure the men were watching. Tomorrow at 1:10 Arizona time, you can catch them right here on 12 News as they take on Slovakia in the hockey semifinals, all right here on 12.
Guys, the newsroom was buzzing.
Oh,
for that women's
that
game.
was awesome.
That was like, I felt like no work got done for like a handful of hours.
Yeah.
Because and then when they scored the tying goal, we erupted. When they scored the winning goal, we
It's
erupted.
so funny how sports is the great unifier.
Yeah, especially the Olympics, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's the best language that goes so many different cultures. And,
A great rival helps too,
Yeah,
right?
there we
a
go.
good rivalry.
Well, hopefully, I mean, this would be the first gold for the men since 1980, the Miracle on Ice.
Yeah,
So.
it's been a long time, a handful of years since they medaled too, Mark.
Right, so they need to get past Slovakia first.
There we go. Guys, let's talk some Cardinals today. It was a big day for the organization. And listen, I know sometimes fans get upset with owner Michael Bidwell, but today's a good day for the Cardinals. Breaking ground on a new practice facility. It's located off the Loop 101, Scottsdale Road, next to Desert Ridge in North Phoenix. The Cards' new HQ going to sit on 30 acres of a 217-acre plot of land. It will be state-of-the-art with housing and an entertainment district right next to it. Move-in date will happen after training camp 2028. You know, for years, guys, the Cardinals have received poor grades on their current facility by the players. So was that a driving force in building this new thing?
Feedback's a gift, but also I knew what our plan was, and I was going to make this multi-generational decision when this parcel became available to build the best possible facility and performance center that's player first for the Cardinals and for our future.
To have a state-of-the-art facility like this will only do great things for the community, but also the players as well. And just investing into our futures is definitely exciting.
It just shows how much Michael cares about us and the success of this team, and what he's doing is huge for us. And I'm just excited about what's to come.
Guys, you may recognize that plot of land, right? That's where the Coyotes
were
supposed to build on and supposed to win that auction. Of course, that never went through, and bad ownership there, and they left town. Listen, I know Cardinal fans are going to get on Michael Bidwell for things that happened in the past, and they'll say a lot. Oh, this should have been done years ago, and he was guilted into doing this. But just so we're clear, like, the Cardinals don't have to build this new facility for their players. He wants to. He continues to invest and improve the franchise, and this is going to be great for the Cardinals, and it's going to be great long term, and it's going to be great for players. It's going to be great for the team. It's going to be great for the city. What they're going to do with that entire piece of land, like that land has been. Mayor Gallego was out there today, and she was like, that's the prize piece of land that's still left up there for people to build on. Everybody wants to put things there. Cardinals are going to put a lot there. They're going to have room to grow more, and it's going to be kind of a destination in the valley. Nice. And it'll be a great thing when it's all said and done.
Who knows, maybe a hockey building will go in.
Another one?
Arena.
One day?
Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe.
Maybe. He's got plenty of room out there.
That's right.
All right, Cam, thanks. Well, check this out. This was insane. This happened in Wisconsin. While paramedics were treating a patient in the back of their ambulance, a man jumped in the driver's seat and took off. I don't know if I mentioned this, but he was naked. That triggered a police chase as the paramedics tried to remove the driver, but he wasn't budging. Police eventually tracked down the stolen ambulance and arrested the naked thief. Luckily, no one was injured, but there is some damage to the ambulance.
So many questions there.
Why don't people leave the house with pants on? I just don't. I don't get it. I just don't. I don't understand
It's
it.
more than just no pants.
Yeah, and a shirt, some socks.
Thanks, everyone, for watching our live extended newscast on 12+.
Yeah, don't steal an ambulance and be naked doing it. Just don't do it. See you back here at 10.
It's a good idea. To not do it.